Guys, what's going on, and welcome to a brand new video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe because we're on the road to 1k subscribers. So today is of course your preview for the Fulham versus Leeds United game. We are back. The Premier League is back after a week of boring international football, but we are back and this is going to be your preview. So the press conference just happened and the news we heard with injuries. Perri firstly is going to definitely miss the next two games, which is what we heard. So Perri is going to be out for the next two. So it looks like Darlow will probably most likely, hopefully, start in goal, not Melier, even though later on we'll talk about it. Mecha and Perri are both slight doubts, so there's another two injuries. Great, we bought a striker, too bad we bought a fucking shit one. But anyway, Tanaka and Ampadu are back in training with Ampadu being ahead of schedule again. This has nothing to do with the training stuff. I have a feeling. I have this weird thing in my head always that it's not because of the training stuff. Ampadu always seems to be ahead of schedule. Always. Maybe it isn't the training stuff. Maybe it's just Ampadu's a beast and he's going to get back early every single time he's injured. So that's the injuries updates that we currently have. So two of our strikers are a doubt out of the three. And great, I mean, DCL is going to start. I know people want him to start, but I don't think he's good enough. And anyway, but Mecha being out to massive miss because of how good he's been, in my opinion, how good he's been for us, and I think he's our best striker. So that's going to be a massive miss. Of course, Perri's going to be a massive miss as we're going to have to play Darlow in goal. And yeah, hopefully Ampadu may be back, but I don't think he'll start Ampadu. We'll get into that later, but firstly, let's go and start off with the last 6 meetings we have had against Fulham. So it's actually a 50-50 win percentage for both teams in the last 6. Fulham won 3 and we won 3. Coming in, the last time we played them was in 2023 when we were back in the Premier League, where we lost 2-1. Before then was the cup game in the FA Cup where we lost 2-0. So we've lost the previous 2. We've actually lost the previous 3 in a row, by the way, because the game before that was in the Premier League where we lost 3-2. Before then was a 0-0 draw in the cup where we won on penalties, and then it was a 2-1 Leeds win and a 4-3 Leeds win. So it's 3 wins apiece in the last 6, with Fulham winning the last 3 games and us winning the 3 previous games. So going into this, Fulham looked like the better team against us in the head-to-head range, but who knows? They scored 11 goals in that time while we've only scored 9. We've had 9 yellow cards or 6 yellow cards and no red cards either team. But the last 6 games, 3-3, 50-50. With Leeds United on 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss, of course, on 4 points. A very good start to the season, while Fulham have struggled a little bit at the start of the season with 2 draws and 1 loss, only on 2 points in 18th. So I do think this is going to be a difficult game, and it's in London. Leeds United never do well in London. Normally this is where we lose because it's London. We all know that's a very bad place to be for Leeds United. But how do I think we're going to line up in this game? Let's go through the lineup because it's going to be a very different lineup. So it's going to start with Darlow in goal. I believe it'll be Darlow in goal, Bogle at right back, and I know how a lot of people want it changed and want Biol in. I was not convinced with Biol against Sheffield Wednesday, and it's just one game, I know that, but Struijk was good against Newcastle, and he's been playing well. So personally for me, you can't just chuck him out because the new shiny toy, which everyone seems to love a new shiny toy, and they're always better than what we've already got. Which is just the thing a lot of football fans do, is the new shiny toy, the new signing is always better than what you currently got, even though at times it's not the case. And I'm not saying that Biol's not better than Struijk. I'm just saying currently Struijk was really good against Newcastle, so he deserves to keep his spot. Biol's gonna have to wait and bide his time to get his spot. If Biol played well against Sheffield Wednesday, he might have started in the Newcastle game, but he wasn't good in my opinion. So Struijk will play at the right centre back. Then of course you're gonna have Joe Rodon at left centre back. You're then gonna have Goodmanson at left back. Then you're going to have, of course, the midfield 3, which I think we're going to keep with Gruev in the 6, Stack in the 8, and, of course, the other 8 being Longstaff. I think we're going to keep the same midfield 3 that played against Newcastle, because I think that midfield 3 played well, and I feel like it is a bit harsh for Gruev to come out for Ampadu, because I think Gruev deserves to keep his spot, because in my opinion, without Longstaff, if Longstaff didn't play that game against Newcastle, Gruev would have been my man of the match. So he was actually my second best player on the pitch in that game, in my opinion. I know other people saw it differently, but that's what I generally think. I generally think that he was the second best player on the pitch behind Longstaff. So I do think Longstaff and Gruev both deserve to keep their spot in the team. So that's how I think the midfield will work. And now I think the front 3, there's going to be a change, of course. We'll go start with the left. I think Okafor starts on the left, and I want to see Okafor on the left. No one in the front 3 deserves a starting spot. Let me get that straight. No one in this front 3 currently deserves a starting spot because none of them have performed. None of them have scored. None of them have assisted. None of them have created the opportunities. The creativity isn't there, which is why on the left, I think Okafor deserves a chance ahead of Nonto. On the right, I'll keep Dan James because of his pace, and he's very deadly and behind, and if we can get him on the counter, and it'll be, scoring against your old club. He was on loan at Fulham, of course. We loaned him out the season we got relegated when, we could have actually used him that season, but people won't talk about that. But yeah, Dan James is going to start on the right, in my opinion, and up front, well, it looks like it's going to be DCL because it's going going to be no other options because Piro's picked up an injury and Metcha's picked up an injury. Now, if Metcha is available, I would start Metcha. If it's between DCL and Perri, oh my god, it's like choosing between it's like choosing between shit and shit. But I think DCL is better than Perri just because I think he can create chances. He can have that movement that Perri just doesn't have. So if Metcha is out and it's between Perri and DCL, I'll choose DCL. But if all of them are available, it's Metcha because he's the best striker at the club, in my opinion. So I think I'll go Metcha up front, and that will be the lineup. So if Metcha isn't available, it'll be DCL. But if Metcha is available, so I'm going to say DCL currently right now because it looks like he might be out. I'm going to say DCL right now because it looks like Metcha might be out. It's not 100% confirmed that he will be out. But yeah, the other news I forgot to talk about was in the defense with Rodon and Byram. They're still available though. So yeah, Byram got like an elbow in training or something. They both have concussion protocols, but they both will be available. So that's good. But yeah, going into this game, how do I think this game will go? I think we're actually I'm gonna back us to get a point. I do think we'll probably lose this game, but yeah, in my prediction, my Premier League predictions, if you guys didn't see that, I said we'll lose 2-0. But if I'm going to go with my Leeds United, my heart, instead of my head, I go with my head on my Premier League predictions, but here I'm going to go with my heart, 1-1. A 1-1 draw and another point. I mean, it would be a massive point if we can get 5 points in what? 4 games. 4 games, 4. You know, even if we do lose, 4 games, 4 points is a good start for us in the team that's going to be in a relegation battle, most likely. You know, we've had a good start. Fulham are a good footballing side. They're not a bad team at all. They've just had they've had a tricky start, 2 draws, 1 loss. They've had a tricky start. They are a very good footballing side. Muniz will probably score against us. I mean, that's written, isn't it? Wilson will probably get the assist. It'll probably be a Wilson cross into a Muniz header. Most likely, that just seems right. King, of course, in the midfield, it looks like an absolute baller. He could score against us. He looks like an absolute baller. I'm a bit worried about how they're going to play against us. Of course, you've got their defense, so Bassi, like one of the hardest players in the league to get past. So yeah, very difficult player to get past, and with how our attack has played this season so far, maybe we're going to struggle to even create a chance again. But yeah, I'm very worried that we're not going to create a chance. But my hope is we score from a set piece, maybe a scrappy set piece where the ball bounces everywhere and someone gets a toe on and it goes in the back of the net. That's my hope for us scoring. But yeah, I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw. I predict we get a point. Let me know your score predictions in the comment section down below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you are new, because I'm on the road to 1K, as I've already said. Please subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.